Hi, I'm Mark. This is my June review for Capricorn Sun sign and Capricorn rising. This month we have the two biggest aspects of the year, both coming into tight orb and becoming exact this month. And then we have a solar eclipse in Gemini and a full moon in Capricorn, so lots going on. Right, we start the month with a conjunction of the Sun and the North Node in your 6th house. So now we could have a lot of changes within your daily routines or your work. There could be changes of lifestyle. Could change your habits, your eating habits. You could change your exercise routine. You could become more aware of your body. You could improve your health under this aspect. But you could also change your job. So there's a lot of changes that could be happening with this, and also the eclipse later on, which is also in your 6th house. Now there's some help from Chiron in the 4th. He could help you to develop talents from the past, maybe things from a past life that you really didn't know or weren't sure that you could do. But it's a good time to develop these now, and also to develop your leadership skills, and try maybe to find someone who can mentor you or assist you in going forward. On the 2nd, we have our biggest aspect of the year coming into a tight orb and becoming exact on the 14th of June. Now, it's already been exact in February on the 17th, and it will be exact for the 3rd time on the 24th of December. This will be the most important of the three. Right, so the aspect is a square between Saturn and Uranus, and this is causing a lot of tension and a lot of rebelliousness against structure. Saturn represents structure, Uranus represents the rebelliousness. This is why we have so many clashes at the moment. This is why there's a lot of civil unrest, and why there's a lot of social justice issues coming around. Also there's freaky weather conditions happening. Now, one of the good things that came out of the battle between these two in Greek mythology was the birth of Venus, or Aphrodite, the goddess of love. And so this aspect often has a side effect that it increases the status of women in society. We look back, the last time these two giants were together was in the 70s, when Mrs. Thatcher became the first Prime Minister of England. And now this year we have having events to raise the status of women. One, we have a first female Vice President in the US. We've also had Rachel Blackmore win the Grand National Horse Race for the first time ever. So these are things that are helping to raise the profile and status of women in our society. Right, for you Capricorn, Saturn's in your 2nd house, so the very structure of your security and finances are being challenged by the rebellious Uranus in the 5th house. Uranus probably wants to have fun, wants to be a bit reckless and adventurous. Saturn is holding back. These two are both in fixed signs, so there's not a lot of give on each way, but this can cause a lot of uncomfortable feelings and a lot of tension. Now, if we have personal planets that link into this aspect, then it will affect us very personally indeed. If not, it will be more of a general thing. There are other planets and configurations that can help us understand this square aspect of Saturn and Uranus. Mars, for instance, makes a positive aspect to the black moon Lilith on the 2nd as well. Now this can help you to understand, because if you can just talk and discuss things with people, Mars is in your 7th house, either your partner or your friends or colleagues, talk with them about things and you'll discover a lot. You'll get a lot of insights into how things tick, because Uranus is in the same house and sign as the black moon Lilith. So there's clues here and there's insights that you may be able to gain a good perspective. The other aspects coming up later is between Saturn and Chiron, and that can gain a lot of insight and understanding into the big square as well, but we'll talk about that in a bit. On the 3rd, Venus moves into Cancer and your 7th house. With Venus in the 7th house, it's a good time to redefine a relationship, or it's a good time to start a new relationship. Now, on the same day, she makes a positive aspect to Jupiter, so this is a time when you'll want to socialise and you'll get along and relate well to people, so it's a good time to find love. The other aspect on this day is the Sun and Saturn. Now, Saturn's in your 2nd house, so Sun in your 6th house will give you a very practical, workmanlike day, where you can really get on and achieve and do tasks. Now, Starting on that day is a 5-day aspect between Mercury and Neptune. Now Neptune's in your 3rd house. That's not a good place for Neptune anyway, but with Mercury retrograde making a square, it's going to make your mind a little bit woolly, a little bit foggy. You won't be able to remember things so clearly. You may find that communications muddled up or misunderstood. So you just need to be very careful and check things closely during those 5 days. On the 4th, we have a very powerful opposition. Mars comes to oppose Pluto. Mars in your 7th house, Pluto in the 1st. Now, this could be the culmination of great effort in the past, and this could be a sign of a great achievement or success. Or it could also be the sign of a power struggle. This could be within your relationship, or it could be against something much bigger. Now, if you choose to go it alone, you're going to end up probably losing. So it's best, if you're going to take on a struggle, to enlist the help of others. Then on the 6th there's another opposition. This time it's with the Sun opposite Juno. Juno is the asteroid and is in your 12th house. So here we'll have undiscovered frustrations that are creeping in from the unconscious. You won't really understand what they are or know what they're about. So you need to be ready to compromise and to settle things down. On the 7th, there's an aspect between Pluto and the Black Moon Lilith, who's in your 5th house. It's a good time to look at how you express yourself creatively and how you deal with power issues when they come up within relationships with your children and also other members of your family. Then on the 8th there is a sextile between Chiron and Saturn, and this is the 2nd biggest aspect of the year. Now this again will become exact later on in the year, 26th November, but it's going to be exact on the 24th of June this month. So it's now coming into tight orb on the 8th, and this aspect can help you understand the square between Uranus and Saturn. Chiron's orbit is between Saturn and Uranus. Saturn being the last visible planet, Uranus being the first invisible planet. But Chiron floats between the two and can be a bridge builder between the two. Saturn and Uranus are both in fixed signs, which is meaning they're not going to give a lot. But Chiron's in a mutable sign, so he can float and weave his way between the two and help us to understand. A sextile aspect is creative in as much as it can aid us and assist us to understand things and to shed light on things and use Chiron's wisdom and knowledge to try and help understand the tensions between the square. On the 10th we have our solar eclipse. This one happens in Gemini at 19 degrees. So if you have planets between say 15 and 26 degrees, any of the mutable signs, that's Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius and Gemini, then you will be greatly affected by this. Now, this eclipse is a member of the Saras 5 North series and is renowned for bringing hunches. Now, you have to act upon these hunches if you get any. They could come through dreams, visions, they could come as messages from the unconscious or from the psychic realm. Or whatever you get one, you must act upon it. Now, this eclipse is your 6th house, so you will be impelled to reorganise and make changes. It could be that you reorganise your living space. It could be that you reorganise your workspace. It could change your diet. It could change your exercise routine. You could do any number of things. And also, because it's an eclipse, it can trigger life-changing events. It could mean that you change job or get promotion. It could be that you move house or change any number of things in your life. On the 10th, there could be a breakthrough in the 5th house. This could help with the Uranus-Saturn square as well, because Uranus comes together in a conjunction with Ceres, the planetoid. Now, with these two, there's going to have to be balance and compromise, because Ceres is about caring and nurturing. The 5th house is about lovers and children, and Uranus is about independence and freedom. So there needs to be some balance here between the two, and if you can work this out and deal with any issues there, then there could be a great breakthrough, and this could free up a lot more creative expression. The thing that may hold you back a bit is that there's a Sun conjunct Mercury on that day, and Mercury's retrograde, so it may be difficult to explain what you're thinking and what you're going through. So maybe just leave that, keep it to yourself for a few days until you can get the words together. On the 12th, Mars moves into Leo, a fire sign. He likes being a fire sign. He's a lot happier there. Also, he's in the 8th house of Scorpio, so he will be very much at home in that house as well for you. Now, on the same day, Venus makes a sextile to Uranus. Venus is now in that 7th house. She's been through the 6th house and she's fed up with the humdrum and the daily routines. Now she wants some excitement. With Uranus, she will have it. Try something new, do something different. Just have some love or fun and enjoy this. There's also a square on the same day to Chiron in the 4th house, so this is a good time to let go of the past as well, to forget the past, let all the fears and rejections go and just go out and have some fun. Then on the 13th, the Sunday, it'll be a quieter day. It'll be a day to chill out, rest your body and your mind, because the Sun makes a square to Neptune. And this is always a time when you might feel a little bit low. It's only a passing phase, it won't last long, just go with it and you'll be fine in a day or so. On the 20th, Jupiter goes retrograde in your 3rd house and will be going retrograde until the 18th of October. But we will work with this retrograde energy, and the lessons to be learned with Jupiter retrograde in the 3rd are about communication. Learn how to be tactful and sincere in all your communications. Also, it's about self-realization and working towards proper worthwhile goals and not wasting your time on things that are worthless. Then on the 21st, there's a fantastic aspect between Venus and Neptune. And when these two are together, the imagination is filled with fantasy and daydreams. Venus being in your 7th house, this could be a heightened time in your relationship, or it could be the time that a new relationship starts. Now this can either be a very spiritual relationship or it could be a very fantasy filled one. On the 21st, the Sun moves into Cancer and your 7th house, so the emphasis switches to the 7th. On the 22nd, Mercury goes direct, and we'll need a few days to get going again, but then things should improve on the communication front. On the 23rd, Venus makes a very powerful opposition to Pluto. Venus in your 7th, Pluto in the 1st house. So this will play out in love relationships. It's very powerful energy that can be used to transform and change things for the better, or it can be a very destructive power struggle. The other thing that comes up, subconscious urges, impulses come up, and this could result in irrational or indiscreet behaviour. So just be aware of yourself during this aspect. On the 24th, we have a full moon in your sign of Capricorn. Now the full moon's at 3 degrees, so it'll affect those of you born in the first week of Capricorn or those with an early rising sign very, very acutely. Capricorn full moon is about success, achievement. It's about getting to the finish line. It's about finishing off all those things that have been hanging around to get completion. It's also in the first house, it's about you. It's about developing yourself in some way or reinventing yourself in some way, but not at the expense of others. You must maintain relationships and keep the balance as well. Now there's an aspect between Venus and the Black Moon Lilith on the same day, and this will give you valuable insight. The Black Moon Lilith is in your 5th house of creativity, so this is a good way of getting insight into how you interact with people in a creative way and how you express yourself within love relationships and within connections with children and other family members. On the 25th, Neptune goes retrograde in your 3rd house until December the 1st. The lessons to learn here are to develop a good sense of spirituality and to use that to be compassionate with others. Also, you need to develop a good sense of sincere communication. Be honest and open in your communications, and to learn and to use your knowledge wisely. Then on the 27th, Venus moves into Leo, and the hallmark of Venus in Leo is pride and passion. On the 27th, Mars makes a positive aspect to the Moon's North Node. This is a sextile, so it's a very creative aspect. So now you can start to put into action all those things you've been thinking of. If you remember back at the start of the review, when we had a conjunction with the North Node from the Sun, and then we had the eclipse in the same area, all these ideas that were brought up by these aspects, now you can start to put into action. You need to push the route of the North Node. They're sometimes fearful, you're probably uncertain and unsure of yourself. It always is, because it's unfamiliar territory. But you need to use Mars energy now to push forward in the direction of all these new ideas. Then on the 30th, Mars makes the last aspect of the month, and it's in opposition to Saturn. Now this can be a difficult, tense time. It can make you irritable, it can bring anger to the surface, and it also ties into the square of Saturn with Uranus, so it makes a T-square, and T-squares are very difficult, challenging configurations to deal with. The way I look at it is you always look to the empty space of a cross. A grand cross is made up of 4 planets in 4 signs, but with a T-square there's an empty one. So if you pour all your energy into the empty space, which for you is Scorpio in the 11th house, then you can help to balance out the energy and turn the challenging energy into the dynamic energy of a grand cross. So look to the 11th house, look to networking and communicating with others, enlist the help of others so that you can help to relay and to understand the energies of this configuration. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe. If you'd like to leave me a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you.